I want to introduce you to a man that is currently sitting on Ohio's death row. His name is Victoria Drain. He has an execution date. It's January 11th of 2028. He has waived all his appeals. Over the course of the next several months, you're going to be hearing his voice on my channel quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I've done several interviews with him. And as a matter of fact, you're going to be hearing his voice because we're going to be doing some collab videos. Yes, death row collaborations. He has quite a lot to tell. I think over the next course of several videos that you're going to be hearing his voice, hearing his story, I think it's going to be quite insightful into the mind of somebody and how they got started in life on their path to death row. I do not censor people's audio when it comes to, when I do these kinds of videos. So you're going to be hearing some subject matter that might be considered sensitive to certain people. I do not cuss on my channel, but if people come on my channel and they cuss, that's totally fine. I am a free speech platform. I do not censor comments. I do not censor people that I speak with. So today you're going to hear part one of what's probably going to be a 4-part series on my channel. Normally, when I interview inmates, or at least when they tell their story, I like to at least film the location of the prison where they're currently at. I would have waited until the summertime to put this audio out on my channel. However, because of time constraints, I wanted to get his story out as quickly as possible. And like I said, you're going to be hearing his voice from time to time on my channel. So without further ado, Victoria Drain, he's going to tell us in the first part, basically his life story, how he got started and what happened. And I think that some of you out there might want to just kind of give him a chance to kind of explain. I'm not condoning his actions, never said I did. However, like a lot of people that commit crimes such as murder, everyone has to start. Without further ado, Victoria Drain.
So, my name is Victoria Drain. I'm currently on Ohio's death row at Ohio State Penitentiary in Youngstown. I was born in Findlay, Ohio. That's like 45 minutes south of Toledo, a little town in Hancock County. Not little, probably 40,000 people. My earliest memories was living with my grandma in a really pretty nice neighborhood in Findlay, Sutton Place. It's like a really nice street with, like nice houses and nothing really going on over there. But my grandma, my mom, and I had a brother named Brandon. He's 11 months older than me, so like I grew up with severe sibling rivalry going on. But so like my dad wasn't around. I didn't know really much about him. I knew that people shit talked to him in front of me all the time. Like my earliest memories basically are my grandma talking shit about my dad or my mom or whatever. I didn't know no better. I was just in elementary school. I went to like Wilson Vance, which is, now I know that I'm older, like where all the rich kids in Findlay go. It's over in that, it's in the area where, like the wealthier families live. At the time I didn't know it though. I had, for some reason early on, I remember like, I just didn't feel like, I just didn't like to be around other people. I was kind of introverted as a kid. And I would always have my brother like, trying to like encourage me or bully me sometimes, even just to come outside and be around other people and play and stuff. My grandma was an alcoholic, so basically she would go to work at a nursing home. She's like an activities director. Come home, she's a real cold woman, man. Skinny lady, real cold. Never felt like I always felt like we was a burden because my mom's an adult with 2 kids staying with her, So it was kind of an awkward situation in that house. And like I said, early on, I really wasn't feeling super sociable. I would rather be by myself or out back with my dog or whatever. But in elementary school, I remember they did like this Thanksgiving play or whatever that you're supposed to do, and I think one of the very first moments of that, like, I feel like kind of like tells the whole story of my life was you were supposed to dress up like an Indian back in them days, you know, you could Indian and pilgrim shit when you're in elementary school. But I dressed in all black up under that shit, and right before it, I came out in all black, and like afterwards, it was like, "What the hell are you doing?" I was probably like first grade, second grade. I was like, "I'm a cat burglar," and that's what I said. I told them I was a cat burglar during the Thanksgiving play in Wilson Ranch. So anyway, like stupid shit like that, I would just think to myself in my own head. That's a lot of my life, is just processing what I see in my own head and really not bouncing it off other people, you know, like I know this shit I think ain't like always on point, but it makes sense to me. So anyway, early on, you know, my brother, he kind of was like popular in school and he had a lot of stuff going on, so he would talk me into shit. I think the very first time the cops was ever called on me was because, probably like third grade. Literally, it was Halloween, and we weren't allowed to go out for Halloween because we did some shit and got in trouble. So he's like, "Come on, we're just going to sneak out, go out the window," and that's what we did. And my grandma ended up calling the police on us to find us, and that's literally my first time in a cop car was trying to go trick-or-treating, man, in third grade. And I guess that's the story of the very beginning, was because my mom worked and my grandma was there to take care of me and my brother. She would just call the police. If something happened, if I'm yelling at her or something, she would just call the police. And the police would come and like, "Oh, if you don't be good to your grandma, we're going to," like, this is back in the 80s, so shit was different, man. But she was like a cop caller for real. But eventually, it was like fourth grade. Me and my brother had been like vandalizing cars and doing just shit that little kids probably don't normally do. And my grandma kicked my mom out because of it. Her neighbors were complaining, the cops shit. We were stealing money, we were smoking. I know this sounds young to people out there, but I promise you, back then it just felt like what we were doing, man. Nobody thinks about how old you are. But so we moved to this. So we go from this nice neighborhood to a Section 8 housing because my mom's a single mom at the time. She ain't making a lot of money. She's working at a factory. So we went from living in this nice white picket fence type shit neighborhood to Inverness Garden Apartments and low income housing, like, and we're introduced to a whole different bracket and type of people, you know. Like, I felt like now, like, I met my neighbor. There's so many kids in that apartment complex, man. Like, they had a full court basketball court in the middle, like everybody would congregate at. The basketball hoops weren't there, but the court was there. So, like, I was introduced to different shit. Weed, drinking beer, like, fourth grade year, man. Like, just really was like, I remember, like, the neighbor kid next door, Ray, brought over porno mags from his dad. Just all that shit that is the jumping off point from the next level shit. And at that exact moment, my dad pops back up out of nowhere, and he contacts my mom somehow, and she has this. My dad was fucked up. He's locked up in and out of jail, man. Like, absent. This is like his first appearance in my life, and she lets him sleep on the couch, and he agrees to watch me and my brother while my mom's at work. But, like, it was weird having him around. I didn't know the dude, right? But he let us get away with everything. Like, my friends would come to our apartment to, like, smoke cigarettes and shit because he didn't give a fuck. He was busy doing him, man, and he didn't give a fuck about what we were doing. So I kind of liked him. I started liking him because I knew I could take a cigarette from him in 4th grade and he wouldn't say shit. You know what I mean? Like, or I could have 15 people in the house raiding the fridge, man, hanging out, older kids, younger kids, and he was just cool with everybody. But that didn't last long, man. Like, probably 6 months after that, it was right around Christmas time, me and my brother get on the bus to go to school, and we had, like, a Christmas play that day, and that night, I mean. So I'm in class, man, and I remember, like, being all nervous about doing this play and shit. And I see this guy in a suit come to the door of the classroom and talk to my teacher. Then they called my name, had me go to the office, man. And long story short, it was an incident at my house where my mom was unresponsive, and they had to. They were questioning me and my brother. They had pulled my brother out of class, like, "Hey, who was at the house? Like, did you hear any arguments at the house?" All this other shit. And I'm like, "Nah, man, like, for real, I didn't hear shit." But what I didn't say was earlier that morning I had seen my dad cleaning shit up in the bathroom area. I was a kid, so I just wasn't really, like, and I remember right before I walked out, my dad said, "Hey, if your mom's sick, she's got the flu, if your grandma calls or anybody asks, just say she's sleeping, she has the flu and shit." So it didn't feel right, man. But I didn't say that information out loud when they were grilling me and my brother. I was just trying to figure out, like, what the fuck happened, you know? So anyway, my mom's best friend comes and picks us up, takes her to her house, and my dad dipped out. Nobody knew where he was at. My mom's having surgery on her brain and shit because her brain's swollen and brain bleeding, and she got beat up really bad or whatever. So at the moment, I ain't putting it. I'm just trying to, like, block the shit out. I ain't trying to do the mathematics of figure that shit out. I'm just, like, in the moment with my brother at my mom's friend's house. I wake up the next day, my grandparents, not my grandma, but her ex-husband and his new wife, my step-grandma from Tennessee, are there. And they're like, "Hey, we're going back to this apartment. Grab all your shit. You're coming to live with us in Tennessee." And nobody really gave us information. Like, my brother and me talked about it. Like, we knew what happened. My dad beat her ass, but we didn't know the extent back then. I was in 4th grade. My brother was in 5th grade. So, boom, we're in Tennessee, Crossville, Tennessee, Fairfield Glade to be specific, a retirement golf community where all these Christian-type people, like, it's weird, man, back then. It was like a dream. Like, all these people just go to church, like, 3 times a week, play golf, and then sit on the lake at night and drink and, like, listen to country music. It was horrible for a kid that's in 4th grade, man. So, anyway, I'm there, like, half my 4th grade year. 5th grade year starts. It's called, the school there, too, was kindergarten through 12th, which you don't see that shit up north in Ohio. Like, I was, like, in the 4th, beginning of 5th grade or whatever. It was like, there's 12 graders in the same school, but they also paddled in that school, which I found out early on because I was a badass kid. And they were allowed to, back in their days, paddle you, so that was like a regular thing. But so probably 6 months after being there, I'm told that, "All right, y'all pack your shit. Your mom's cool. She's out the hospital. She wants y'all to come home. She's going to meet us in Lexington, Kentucky." That's like the halfway point between Crossville and Findlay, Ohio on 75. So we get this. I'm excited as fuck. Like, hell yeah, let's go. Like, so we get to Lexington, and I see them talking to my mom. I'm excited, but they're telling me to stay in the car. And then they come back, and they're like, "All right, Brandon," that's my brother and shit, "grab your shit. And I'm like, I jump up, like, ready to grab my shit, and they're like, no, like, we're going to do one at a time so she can get reacclimated into doing the parent thing. So I'm like, wait, what? Like, you're bringing me back with y'all, and he's going with her? So, and then I just felt mad. My mom wanted to hug and talk, and I didn't want none of that shit. So they take me back to Tennessee, probably like 3-4 more months. Then my mom's like, all right, I mean, it's like the end of the 5th grade year type shit. And my mom's like, all right, I'm ready for you. But by then I had such a hatred. I was all by myself. I didn't even have my brother to hang out with, so I would just walk on this gravel road out in the middle of nowhere, Fairfield Glade, Cumberland County, Tennessee, like, and I would listen to, like, music, rock music and shit, on the stupid-ass Walkman, and I would just plot. Like, if I go back to Ohio, fuck everybody. Like, I don't care about shit. Like, I'm about to just do whatever I want and never, like, I just wanted to run away. I was thinking all kinds of shit. So that's what happened. 3 or 4 months later, my mom's ready for me to come back. I go back, and I'm on some other shit. Like, I'm getting kicked out of school. I'm stealing her cigarettes, alcohol, money, breaking windows, anything. I end up on, like, juvie probation for, like, fighting at school and unruly and underage consumption, all that stupid shit when you're young. And my dad, let me back up, because my mom, after getting assaulted like that, her memory was gone from that whole, like, a few month time period. So my dad literally got away with that situation because she couldn't say what happened. And nobody, like, there was nothing, I don't know, man. But the whole thing is crazy because there was so much other circumstantial evidence that I just won't even get into because it don't even matter. But he got away on that shit. No charges. But I seen him at a gas station one day, not suspended, but skipping school. I'm at a gas station, and I see him in a car, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, hey, and I'm like, man. And we start talking. I'm like, I need a cigarette. By the way, I'm between my 5th and 6th grade year, the summer between. And I'm like, hey, man, like, you buy me cigarettes? He's like, yeah, I got you. Like, so I'm in my dad's car. He bought me the pack of cigarettes, and I'm venting to him, like, man, Mom played me after you left and shit, like, and he's like, well, you want to come live with me? I'm married. I got these 3 girls, like, they're your sisters, like, you could come live with us. I'm like, yeah, but I'm on probation and shit. He's like, don't worry about it. I'm your dad. Like, I can take custody of you. So I was like, yeah, hell yeah. So I go back to my mom's. He don't go with me. I do. Go back to my mom. I'm like, I'm moving with Dad. She's like, good. She felt happy. And my brother at that time, we hated each other. Because I blamed even him for that shit. I was thinking like a child, so I always blamed him back then for, like, bailing on me and shit. So my probation officer agreed with it, and my dad got custody of me, and that's like 6th grade middle school year starts. And that's literally where everything turns all the way left. We move in. It's me, my dad's mom, Big Grandma's her name. And that's like the closest person I've ever been to in my whole life, hands down. I loved her so much. Like, there was so many times she came through for me when nobody else knew what the fuck was going on. Like, but I mean, I'll get more into her in a minute. But, like, so it was me, my stepmom, Betty, and her 3 girls, my dad and Big Grandma, all in this 2-bedroom house in Bernard Park, which low-income housing. Every other house had kids in it that, like, were just like me. Like, they were out all night long, drinking, getting high, stealing cars, involved in all the shit, man. So, like, as soon as I moved there, it was like I could get away with anything. My dad didn't even fucking know if I was in the house half the time. So, like, I didn't get a room. My dad made, like, a pallet in the laundry room. That's where I slept at. About 6 months into that, he got a 3-bedroom house, and I ended up upgrading to a bedroom and shit. But it was a 4-bedroom house because my grandma had a room too. So it was in the same neighborhood, Bernard Park. It's like a area, a section. So yeah, so everything escalated. I'm stealing cars now. I'm getting tattoos. I don't go to school at all, period. Like, if I do go, it's because I mean, my probation officer's threatening to take me to juvie or whatever. So eventually I end up in juvie, obviously, man. Like, I start going to JDC. Finley don't have a detention center. So I'm going to Wood County and Bowling Green, about 30 minutes up the highway. And they would take me there, man, and like, I remember my very first time, man. Well, it wasn't even my first time. Like, a week before my first time in jail, I went up there to visit my brother, who had ended up getting locked up for some dumb shit. And I remember my mom called me out of the blue, like, your brother is in jail, and I'm going to go up and see him. Do you want to come up? And mind you, I maybe talked to my mom, like, once every couple months for like 3 seconds, just to be like, she'd be like, what do you want for your birthday? I'll be like, shit, I don't give, a hat or whatever. So it was like a moment where I was like, all right, let me go up with my mom, man, fuck it. And then I go, this is really fucked up. So I get to he's in the juvenile residential center for a little bit longer term for a diversion program, kind of like a rehab for kids. And when I go into the waiting room, we're waiting for them to open the door, and 2 sheriffs come in there and, like, cuff me up and take me over to the jail and do this fake-ass scared straight shit. Like, the CO was like, look in that cell. You see that toilet's connected to the sink? That means you're drinking shit water. You're going to end up here just like your brother and all this other shit. And I'm like, all right. Turns out my PO set me up for that shit. Go back 1 week later, almost to the day, I'm in that same fucking juvie on some charges and shit. And they don't even remember my ass in there. They're just like, all right, they booked me like I was regular. So, boom. They're all like, your first day in juvie, you're going to do like 3 days. I did 13 days. It's my first trip. And then it was just downhill for there. I got caught with weed. I got caught stealing cars. I got a felonious assault. And eventually, like, I had caught felonies. I got into it with a dude at school, left, I came back with a gun, and I was with a girl named Rachel, and that was my girlfriend at the time, and she was like, just wait here, and I'm going to go get my sister's car and all this. This is in 7th grade. We go get my sister's car, and her sister's like 3 or 4 years older. But she calls the police and tells them I have a gun. So I'm watching, like, the police, like, come down the street where the school's at. So I start running. They catch me. I got a stolen firearm on me. Boom, I'm going to juvenile prison. In Ohio, it's called DYS. If the juvenile detention center is the county jail version, DYS is the prison version of prison for juvenile. So I sit my little time in juvie. They transport me to Circleville Youth Center. You did your 21 days orientation there. They shoot me to Cuyahoga Hills up by Cleveland and Green Springs or some shit up there. I don't know. Cuyahoga Hills Boys School. So I do a year. I'm out. I get out, and then I'm on juvenile parole now, which my parole officer's in Toledo. And I go back as all this is happening, I skipped a huge part. So once we moved to the bigger house and I had my own room, that's when my dad and my stepmom, I had just turned 14. And I remember, like, it was my birthday. Everybody goes to sleep except Betty, this dude that was my dad's friend, my dad. And they're playing cards in the living room. My dad's like, come here. My name was Joel at the time. Like, come here. Like, what's up? He's like, happy birthday. Hands me a bottle of vodka to drink. Like, sit down and drink with us. Blah, blah, blah. So, like, I'm getting fucked up, smoking, playing cards. The dude, my dad's friend, leaves, and it's just me, Betty, and my dad. And my dad's like, you need to get some pussy for your birthday. Obviously, I'm thinking he's talking about some other bitch. What really he was talking about is me fucking his wife. So that's where the sexual abuse, weird shit that he did, that everybody knew he was doing, and that's where it all started at. It started with my stepmom, and then it went from there. There would be times where I had to pretend like I was asleep, and this bitch would still fuck with me and shit, even though I'm faking like I'm asleep, because you couldn't actually be asleep through the shit they were doing. But I would pretend like it when they would come in. So anyway, all that shit going on at the same time, right? So when I got to jail, it felt like a fucking release, man. And that's a feeling that never has left me. So I feel like in my more mature brain now, like that's where being in a cell felt safer than being in my home environment, because I remember that first time in juvie, just taking a deep breath, like nobody's opening my door tonight and fucking with me. So, you know, I turned up even further now because no consequences scare you when your home life is that fucked up. Nothing's worse than that, in my opinion. It was horrible. I hated it. I hated myself, and I hated them for that shit. So I started going to juvenile prison. Once you get in that system, it wasn't long after that. I do my little year in Cuyahoga. I went to Maumee Youth Center for like my last 3 months in Liberty Center. Get out. I'm out like 2 months. I'm in a stolen car. I'm on the run. I cut off my ankle bracelet. I broke into a couple houses, and my goal was, I met this dude when I got out of DYS from Phoenix, Arizona, named Junior, and his sister Brandy. They were my age, just got here from Phoenix, and they hated fucking Finley, so they're like, let's just steal a car, and when we get back to Phoenix, I'm on parole and on house arrest, the monitor. They're like, you'll blend right in, like you're just like you could just come to Phoenix. So I steal the car, go pick him up, cut my ankle bracelet off, and literally, like, it's the craziest road trip ever. We left for like $20. Back then, you could pump gas first, so we're gassing and going. We picked up a hitchhiker named Micah in Oklahoma City that fucking ends up pawning the jewelry because he's an adult and we're not. We stole all this jewelry out of these houses.
You have 1 minute remaining.
And so, yeah, we're driving. I got the hitchhiker. I'm driving. It's a 5-speed, which I taught myself on this Grand Theft Auto. Nobody ever taught me how to drive stick. I drove all the way to Albuquerque, New Mexico in 4th gear because 5th gear was too close to reverse. Like, true story. Like, this dude, Micah, I don't even know who he was or where. I just know he was going to California, and he rode with us until I ended up getting pulled over. We stayed one night in Amarillo, Texas, and that's where he pawned all the shit for us. Stayed in a hotel, got drunk, hung out, smoked some weed. Next morning, get up, and we're in New Mexico, and there's signs like, you got to get gas now because you're in the middle of nowhere. So I pulled off in Albuquerque, man, and for whatever reason, I stall out. I get to a red light. I stall out, and there's a cop right next to me, and there's a campus security on the other side. And when I started getting nervous, man, and when I tried to, like, gun it, it just brought unnecessary tension. Cop runs my plates. Long story short, I get locked up in Albuquerque. Micah walks free. I'd say straight up, dude, he's a hitch. I don't know this guy. He don't know us. They let that dude scot-free off. Junior and Brandy end up getting to go back, but because I was on parole, I'm the one that stole the car, and I had to cut the ankle bracelet off. I'm considered absconded from Ohio. They shoot me back, and they lock me up until I'm 18. I go to Tico. Then my last 6, I get my GD, and I'm chilling there. And then I go to Mohican Youth Center for my last 6 months. I get released in October of 1999. So I'm out now. I'm over 18, but my dad I haven't talked to anybody. Nobody. I ain't getting no visits. Like, so when I'm getting out, they're like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "I guess I'm going to my dad's." My dad's saying no. So my mom said, yeah, for the time being. Basically, like, yeah, you could come here, but you better find somewhere else to go quick. So I get there or whatever. First, listen, I did all that time, man, and the first fucking night out, my brother comes up to me with this VHS tape. This is before DVDs and shit, or there was still VHS going on. And he hands me this tape, like, here, I want you to watch this. Like, I was going through, I found out that he had linked up with my dad, and my dad was getting him cigarettes before when I was locked up. And now that he would buy him alcohol in Ohio, you had to be 21. My brother's like 19 at the time. So he had reconnected with his sex offender, but it ain't his. At that time, it wasn't his fault because I didn't say nothing, but also it wasn't his fault because this tape he had in his hand. Puts it in the VCR, and it's my dad and my stepmom sitting on the couch with a VCR camcorder thing, videotaping my 3 minor stepsisters taking off their clothes, doing like a striptease with lingerie, titties out, like all that bullshit. I stopped watching it. Me and my brother got into. I'm like, you are a sick fuck. And anyway, I called my dude, one of my friends that I was in DYS with, Ricky, and my dude Chauncey, and he drove me to Marysville. I made my brother give me my dad's address. I pulled up. This is my first 24 hours out of DYS after I did almost 2 straight years. That's 3 years total if you count that first year. And I'm on parole. And I don't give a fuck. I'm going to go get some retribution. We get to Marysville. He lived in apartments in Marysville, Ohio. We get to the apartment. They're out barbecuing. They got like the grill out. My dad's in a lawn chair. Betty's in a lawn chair. The 3 girls are running around. I just bolt out to the car, and so does my dude Ricky. I kick over the grill, like fire and charcoal everywhere. People are calling. I don't know this, but the neighbors are calling 911. It's apartment complex. I snatch up my dad. Me and Ricky start like punching on my dad and shit. Betty stands up to try to like do something. I grabbed her and pushed her up against the door, and my stepsister jumped on my back and used her nails and raked it all the way across my face and tries to. I'm saying, what's up with this tape, man? You fucking. I don't care. You all fuck with me, but now you fucking with the girls. Like, what's up? And the girls are like, nah, he's just teaching us to be a model and all this other weird ass, grooming ass shit. So the cops come, I get put in handcuffs. But the tape's with me. So when they take the tape, they watch the tape. But I'm already on the way to jail, so I don't know shit that's going on. The tape's in Chauncey's car. So while I'm going to jail, they're getting the tape out of Chauncey's car, and everybody got charged. My parole officer, Frank Hamp, come up to me like a week later out of the juvenile detention center, like, you're not, or no, I was in the county jail. I'm 18. Frank Camp's like, I'm not locking you up. In juvenile prison in Ohio, you can get locked up still till you're 21. So you're going to have a juvenile PO till your 21st birthday, or until you get off papers, or until you catch another case, which would be an adult case like this situation. All charges were dropped based off the fact they found the videotape. So my dad got charged, and so did Betty. So that's the last time I see my dad until later in life, which I'll talk about later. But so this is in 99 or whatever. So I'm out, but I'm on a thin rope now because my PO is like, you know, like that could have been your first trip to adult prison, like all this other shit. Like, so now I'm like, all right, let me try to cool it. He sends me to a place called Fresh Start in Alberton in the middle of the country, up by Bryan, Ohio, Napoleon area. Like, here, you're out the way. Nobody knows you. Try to get your shit together. You're an adult now. Like, and I didn't know shit. I didn't even know how to fill out a job. I mean, I'm not saying I'm stupid. I'm saying some things you just need somebody to show you 1 or 2 times. I didn't have shit. I didn't have my birth certificate. I didn't have a Social Security card. I didn't have a job or a job application. I didn't have vehicles. I didn't have clothes. You feel me? So, like, it just got overwhelming. So I ended up catching a case, man, on some petty shit, and I went to the county jail. So when I got out of the county, I was like, fuck this place. Like, I ended up moving to Toledo with one of the guys I met at Fresh Start that was like a veteran in the streets, a crackhead, like been smoking crack years. His name was Gordon. So he's like boosting me up, like, you come to Toledo, you'll start making money. Back then, there was no real internet like that. It was live links. So I would get on live links and on the gay live links. It's like a phone chat shit. And I would find guys on there and link up with them in hotel rooms and trick with them. At first, I'm actually tricking with them, like straight up sex act for money type shit. And I started getting integrated into the gay clubs in Toledo. But at some point in my head, I was like, I just was like, fuck this. It'd be easier just to, like, take their shit. We don't know each other like that. I could say whatever. So slowly and gradually, I began just robbing dudes, man. Or eventually it would turn into, when I moved to Western Avenue and shit, I had my own little apartment through Zest Center, which is the mental health place. And they ended up, like, getting me a place for, like, low. They put me on Social Security. They treated me like a mental patient. Multiple times I was in a mental hospital and stuff. I was on meds. I was fucking, like, at this time, I was, like, fully into the street, though. Like, so they finally got me housing. And I met this dude named James, and that was my dude, man. He was straight. He was not gay at all. But he fucking was on the same shit I was. He sold crack. He sold coke. Like, he would go anywhere to get money. So, like, we clicked up, and I let him live with me. And what I would start doing is linking up with old men at the club and then come out and then have them rob us both. Back then, I know that sounds like that would be so hard. But we got away with that shit all summer. Like, for real. Like, we got away from, we were getting good money like that. One time we're in a car with this dude, and I'm going to rob him. This is kind of a different scenario, but this is just an example. Like, I'm in the passenger seat. James in the back seat. It's wintertime. I got the gun in my pants. I got my hands in my pocket. So I got latex gloves on in case something crazy happens. So the dude's like, "Hi, my name's Mike," and then he went to shake my hand, but I had latex gloves on. The plan was to get him further down the road, but because I had latex gloves on, I had to go ahead and pull it out on him right there, rob him and shit. So then my spot got real hot because we were right by the house when that happened. So I ended up getting locked up for a couple of domestics. I was with a guy at that time. Get locked up. I ended up punching him or some shit. So he put a restraining order on me. I went and again assaulted him, and I ended up doing like 7 months. I'm on like felony probation. Oh, so I'm on felony papers too for a stolen car. So in '01, I'm like going to a house party, and it's in like Tiffin, Ohio. I'm in Toledo, so we drive over there in a stolen car that I stole or whatever. And after the party, we all get out and we're driving back. I wrecked the car. So now we're like stranded in New Rigo, Ohio, middle of nowhere, in this busted ass Buick LeSabre that I stole. And so we just went down a random road and I seen a car. I broke into the garage and it swear to God on everything. It was another Buick LeSabre, different year, a lot older model, but it had the keys in it. Stole that bitch. So we get rid of the other one over by a reservoir somewhere, and we're plotting on going down to Florida and shit. We're gonna go like just on like a road trip, and we're driving down there, me and a couple of my friends, in this stolen LeSabre, the second stolen LeSabre. I get pulled over in Lowndes County, Georgia. I'm an adult now. They extradite me through the feds all the way back to Seneca County. Like, I went through Atlanta, Oklahoma City, back up here. This is '01, September, right before 9/11. I do like 8 months in the county. They give me probation, adult probation. I'm back up in Toledo. I'm also a misdemeanor probation for assaulting my boyfriend at the time. So I'm on like low probation. Long story short, though, like I violated my TPO. I had several protection orders against me from people in the club. A dude named Lucas, a dude named Nick. I violated that shit, and I go to jail for 7 months. While I'm in jail, my step-grandma and my grandpa, the ones from Tennessee, had moved to the Villages, Florida. So I'm like, they're like writing me like, come here, we're going to give you a fresh start. So I do 7 months. I don't stop to collect gold. I don't do shit. I go straight down to Florida.